Everyone, my name is Divya and I'm super excited. Thank you all for joining me for this wonderful, lovely Saturday morning class. Last week we did a bit of a slower, full moon oriented flow that was more about just connecting inside. And this week we're going to go opposite. We're going to go super fiery, super heavy with the conditioning. So I've taken little flash polls in the past with everyone who comes to this class, and it seems like you all like a little mix of cool down and and faster flows, so dynamic flows. So today's flow will be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more heat inducing, a little bit more strength building, and kind of gearing us towards building stamina. And I'm going to be infusing a lot of different conditioning exercises that come from Indian martial training, and sometimes some wrestling techniques get in there, but I also practice a form of martial arts that is rooted in the same roots as yoga. So this practice, it definitely has both all the elements of yoga that we know and love, but it has a bit more of the fiery energy that we sometimes don't get because yoga can be a little bit more about reflection and the self. And this practice will be a little bit more about pushing the limits of our spirit and our resilience. So if you have any questions throughout class, you're welcome to either add them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask me. That's also fine. But definitely have some water on hand. And if you can quickly grab some kind of a prop, it doesn't have to be a weight or anything. It could be a bottle of water. It could be a can of soup. It could be a spray bottle. I don't really care. It could be a small dumbbell like this 3-pound weight. It could be a kettlebell. It could be anything, just something that's one solid thing that isn't going to fall apart that you can hold to do some of these exercises would be great. So let's go ahead. I'll give everyone a minute to grab something if you haven't already. And when you're ready, let's all come onto our mat. Stand with about feet hip width apart. Speaking is hard sometimes. So once you're here, just take a moment to rock back and forth on the surface of the foot, coming up onto your toes, gripping the mat underneath the toes, feeling the weight on the balls of your feet, and then leaning back onto the heels, lifting the toes up, stretching them wide, and just feeling that moment, that catch in your body when you know you're about to tip over and you have to engage the core muscles, the back core muscles to restabilize yourself. So just let's play around with that edge a little bit today. Let's push ourselves to that edge, get what that sensation feels like in the body so we can start to get that gripping, that full body gripping motion. We want to really push our ability to balance today. So just rock back and forth a few times. And then finally, let's lean back on the heels, spread the toes wide, and then gently place them back down on the mat, one toe at a time, starting with the outermost toes moving inwards. When the full surface of your foot is down on the mat, go ahead and grip the mat underneath your toes so that you can really feel the solidifying through the body. So another way that you can kind of test that is if you're just standing here, if you sway slightly, just see if you feel unstable or if you feel like when you're swaying side to side, you're also feeling a bit of back and forth motion versus when you grip the mat underneath your feet really firmly and you go side to side, it's really not very possible to rock back and forth, or if you do, you're not going to really lose that stability. So you'll feel a tightening through the thighs, through the glutes, and also through the core. So just take a moment and feel that solidifying through the feet. And we'll start with some pranayama. So starting with our full foot on the ground and our hands by the side, you can take Gyan Mudra if you like, bringing the pointer finger and the thumb to touch, the rest of the fingers going, extending outwards. On the inhale, we'll slowly come up onto the balls of our feet. While we're doing so, the hands lift up and out to the sides of the body, up to shoulder height. And as you exhale, flip the hands to lower down, feet lower all the way back down to the mat. We'll do that we're going to do that for 20 breaths today, actually. And I want your focus to be directly ahead of you. Imagine that you're staring at yourself standing right in front of you. You are your own opponent today. So we are not fighting ourselves, but we are meeting ourselves. We are observing ourselves today as someone that we live inside of ourselves, but we can also observe ourselves with a bit of distance sometimes to see what we need to work on. So On the inhale, we lift up to the balls of the feet, hands come out wide. Exhale, flip the hands down, lower back down to the ground. And do this slowly with control, using the full body to get the sensation of balance here. So we'll do 20 breaths, starting with now. Inhale, 1. And exhale. And if you like, you can start using your Ujjayi breath as well. So flatten the throat, flatten the tongue to the back of the throat. Inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils with the lips sealed to generate a deep oceanic sound. This breath generates a deep heat within the body, can be very detoxifying, can be very grounding, can help you with focus, because the noise that the breath makes is something that you can kind of tune into and just quieten everything else around it. And exhale. Starting with 5, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, I lost count. I'm going to call that 10. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, make it good. Inhale. And exhale. Take a moment, maybe close your eyes, play around with that balance a little bit. Shift your weight from one foot to the other. Slightly bending the foot, the knee on the foot that lifts up. It's really good to be able to shift your balance and your weight like this to kind of remain flexible and mobile with your movement. So you never get too used to only being able to balance on the same leg or in the same way, utilizing different parts of our body to engage for balance. So go ahead and lower yourself down to your mat, onto your hands and knees. And we'll start moving through some of our warm-ups this morning, starting with the Bhujangasana push-up, the Cobra push-up, one of my favorites. So starting with hands and knees on the ground in Padmasana tabletop, we'll move through a couple of quick cat-cows. So inhale, lift the tailbone, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the gaze up. Exhale, tuck the chin into the chest, separate the shoulder blades, pushing the mat away, round the belly in to hollow out the belly, or around the spine in, sorry, to hollow out the belly, and finally tuck the tailbone. Inhale, reverse, lift the tailbone, open the chest, lift your gaze. Exhale, tuck the chin, separate the shoulder blades, tuck the tailbone. 3 more times on your own count. Try to make it slow and fluid. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. And come to a neutral spine. From here, you can walk your knees out as wide as your hips. Exhale, sink your hips back, coming into child's pose, Balasana. So feel a full compression here. Let the weight of your upper body sink onto the thighs, stretch the fingertips forward, feeling a nice stretch through the underarms. And just give yourself a moment, let the hips rest and settle in. Now go ahead and lift your gaze, looking forward between the hands. Grip the mat firmly underneath your fingertips. Spread them wide first and then place them down on the mat and grip underneath the mat. As you inhale, I want you to keep your chest and your belly lifted off the mat, just barely grazing it. Really engage through your triceps. Squeeze the elbows into the center of the body. Keep the chest barely grazing the mat. Keep the core pulled in. Coming into Bhujangasana Cobra. So pull your chest until it's through your hands. Keep the chest lifted off the mat. Tops of the toes down as well. And lift your gaze, gazing about a foot in front of you. Take a moment in this posture. Squeeze the elbows into the sides of the body. Engage the thighs by pushing the tops of your feet into the mat. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears and relax your eyes. And as you exhale, re-engage your triceps. Keep them pulled into the sides of the body as you release your hips back, coming into Balasana, Child's Pose. We're gonna go through this 20 times. So get ready, and we're gonna go breath to movement. Ready, inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. And 15 more on your own count. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to push back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you want to take a break from the tricep work, you can also just push forward through tabletop into Cobra push-up, and then push back into Child's Pose, and then switch right back into Cobra push-up. Take whatever variation you need. Last 8. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last 3. And last one. Wonderful. Settle back in Child's Pose. Take a minute. Stretch the hands forward. Walk your fingertips up. And then let your hips rest back so you feel a nice extension through the underarms, through the triceps. From here, push yourself back up to tabletop. We're going to move through some Hanuman push-up variations, also known as lizard push-ups. They could go by many names. But I'm going to show you both the version on the knees and the version coming from plank. So starting with the version on the knees from tabletop through, you will start here in tabletop, take an inhale. And as you exhale, you'll start with the right side. Bring your right leg forward, coming to a lizard pose. Exhale, push down into push-up. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, come back here to tabletop. That's 1. From here, inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Lower down to push-up. Inhale. So the motion of bringing your foot from back here to up here and then lowering down, that's all 1 exhale. Inhale, lift back up. Sorry, I just silenced my phone. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. All right, so same thing from either plank or downward facing dog, whatever feels more comfortable. From here, you take an inhale here in downward dog or an inhale in plank. Exhale, push up, inhale, back to starting. Inhale, exhale, left foot forward, push down, inhale, lift up, exhale, come back. So pick your variation. You are welcome to modify which one you're going with throughout the section of the class. You can start with one, shift to another version. Just feel what feels good for your body, but also what can challenge you maybe and help build some resilience, build some stamina. All right, we're gonna do 10 rounds of these. So again, pace yourself. And let's start. Remember, you're always taking an inhale at the top of the exercise when you're in your starting position, exhaling to do your push-up, inhaling to come back up and reset. About halfway through. And another thing I want to mention, as you're doing the push-up portion and you're lowering yourself down, rather than letting your elbows kind of go out to the side, try to keep your elbows facing backwards, triceps tucked into the sides of the body. So when you lower, you're squeezing the elbows into the sides of the body and really feeling them kind of just glued to your sides, just like in chaturanga. All right, let's do 3 more. And when you're ready, come back to tabletop. Take a breath, reset. And when you're ready, you can either do the next exercise coming from tabletop, or you can come from plank. These might feel a bit like burpees if you've ever done those before. And I'm going to show you a variation that is lower impact in case it doesn't feel good to jump. So starting from plank, as you exhale, you'll shoot your feet forward, coming into Malasana squat. And then inhale to shoot your feet back. If that doesn't feel good, you can start from tabletop or from plank. Walk your feet forward into a squat, walk them back. So pick your variation. We're going from Balakrishnan or plank pose to Malasana, which is a wide-legged squat, garland pose. So in tabletop, again, have your knees and your arms about shoulder and hip width apart. Push firmly into your hand and to the tops of your feet so your whole body is active. If you're in plank, push the mat away firmly, rounding the shoulders around the sides of the body, and push your heels back actively. Lower the butt down. Exhale, shoot the feet forward, come into your squat. If you'd like to do, you can take a moment, bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra and push your knees apart with the insides of your elbows. Press the hands back down. Inhale, shoot the legs back. So let's do this 10 times. And let's go. Wherever you are, let's finish in Malasana and meet there. Take a moment, catch your breath. I'm right there with you. I'm very well aware of how intense this might feel. So take a minute. I'm doing this live with you. I'm breathing heavy too. So just know that. It's very sweaty over here too. From here, walk your feet in slightly so they're shoulder width apart. Release the hands down towards the mat. You can hug the backs of your shins if you would like. Just coming into a deep forward fold, Uttanasana. Let the hands plant down on the mat. Just hang out here. Let the weight of the crown of your head traction the spine down towards the mat. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up, straightening the spine, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Keep your weight grounded and centered over the surface of the foot. Belly pulls in, shoulders squeeze in together to help open the chest and protect the spine. And exhale, release Uttanasana. We'll do a couple of quick rolling lifts. So as you inhale, keep the belly button pulled into the spine as you slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming to a full standing mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, lower down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll up, mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, last one. Inhale, roll up, mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up to standing. And this time, go ahead and grab whatever prop you brought with you, whether it's a dumbbell or a kettlebell, water bottle. It could be any of these things, honestly. And let's bring that up to your chest. So you want to have your hands gripping the sides of whatever you're using. So if you're using a water bottle or a dumbbell, you want to kind of have your grip like this so it's holding either side, it's evenly distributed. And as you inhale, we're going to tilt the object over to the left-hand side of our face. Right hand is on top, left hand is underneath. Bring it around to the back of the head, and then bring it over to the right before bringing it back to center. So that was kind of an exaggerated and slow movement, but when you're doing it in real time, you want to keep your elbows tucked in as much as possible. Isolate the movement to just the shoulders and the arms. So try not to make it a whole body exercise where you're kind of going in circles. You really want to isolate the movement to these shoulders. So then you want to keep the object at chest height when you start. Go around to the left, over to the right, back to center. Each is one rotation. Inhale when you start your rotation, exhale by the time you come back to the start. I'm going to use my kettlebell. And we'll do 10 of these on each side. Really pay attention here to the mobility in the shoulders, isolating the movement. Try to keep it as an objective to let the object not touch your head, but just barely create an orbit around your head. Gaze is forward, you're focused, core is pulled in, feet are still actively gripping the mat here. Shoulders are lowered down from the ears. You want utter focus and concentration for this exercise. Let's do 3 more. Again, try to keep the core stable and solid so the movement is as isolated as possible. Don't bang your head like I just did. And go ahead and take a pause when you come to your last rep. And then now we're going to reverse and do the opposite direction. Make sure we got the equal amount of mobility on both sides. So starting with hands at the center, inhale. Take it over to the right-hand side. This time your right hand is underneath, the left hand is on top. Continue to the back, so both your Your object is sort of dropping down behind you, elbows point up. Start exhaling as you bring the object over to the left hand side. Right hand is on top this time, left hand is underneath. Complete the exhale, hands back to center. Let's do 10 reps of this. Let's do 3 more. Last one. When you're done, set your prop down, out of the way, and come back to standing mountain pose Tadasana. Take a moment, just ground yourself. Find your stability, your focus. Feet hip width apart. Inhale, lift the hands up overhead. Stretch the fingertips tall. You can bring your hands together if you'd like. Slight back bend. Exhale, release the hands down to the mat, forward fold Uttanasana. Pull the core into the spine to give yourself a little bit more room here. Grip the mat firmly under the toes. Release the weight down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the ground or to the shins. Spine lifts up, crown of the head reaches forward. Keep your belly button pulled in here to protect the lower back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to open the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Keep the triceps pulled into the sides of the body. Lower to your knees if you like. Inhale, pull the chest through, upward facing dog. Roll over to the tops of the feet, actively pushing into the mat. Chest faces forward. Don't overarch your spine. Keep the chest just pointing forward. Squeeze the glutes in a little bit here just to protect the lower back. Exhale, push the hips back. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a moment here really quickly just to pedal the feet out. Feel a bit of stretch through the back of the calf. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop the feet up. Forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. The most important thing I would say in Ardha Uttanasana is keep the belly button pulled into the spine because it's very easy to let the lower back take the pressure. So keep that belly engaged. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, roll up, mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows into the sides of the body. Inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk the feet up, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release the hands down by the side. We'll take our second variation of Surya Namaskar. This one's known as Surya Vandanam, or a martial form of sun salutations. So as you inhale, let's bring your hands together, palms to touch just in front of your face, elbows also meet. On the inhale, we'll open the palms up into the face like we're reading a book. Bring the hands in through the chest, elbows go out wide. Hands come, when they come down to your waist here, the backs of your hands are touching. As you inhale, hands face out, lift the hands up and behind you. Exhale, swan dive the hands out to the side, release down to the feet. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, left foot goes back, lizard pose. As you inhale, start looking to the left, straighten your right knee, look to the left, and as you exhale, start looking in towards the back of the body. And as you complete your exhale, you're basically drawing a circle with your chin going from the left, looking back. And as you start looking to the right, you re-bend your right knee, pulling the chest through, arriving back in lizard pose. Inhale, step the right foot back. Exhale, left foot forward, lizard pose. Inhale, start straightening your left leg, look over to the right-hand side. When your left leg is fully straight, you should be looking back behind you through the legs. And as you start exhaling, re-bend your left knee, start looking over to the left-hand side, complete that movement, coming back to lizard pose where we started. Inhale, left leg back, downward facing dog. Exhale, release the knees down to the mat. We're gonna do something we've already done here before that, Bhujangasana push-up, cobra push-up. As you exhale, raise the mat with the chest, come through to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands together. Lift your hands back up, mountain pose Tadasana with the hands facing up. Exhale, hands come to the sides, and then back to where we started. We'll do that one more time, starting with the left-hand side this time. Inhale, open the palms into the face. Turn them in towards the body, up, back behind you. Exhale, swan dive the hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hand, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand, right foot steps back. As you inhale, look over to the right, straightening the left leg as we go. When the left foot is completely straight, we should be looking through our legs to the back of the mat. As you start exhaling, start looking over to the left-hand side, re-bending your left knee as you go. At the bottom of the exhale, back in lizard pose where we started. Inhale, step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward into lizard pose. Inhale, start looking to the left, straightening the right foot as you go. By the time you're at the top of your inhale, you're looking towards the back of the mat, through the legs, the right leg is straight. Exhale, start looking over to the right-hand side, bending the knee as we go, back to lizard pose where we started. Inhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Exhale, drop the knees, Bhujangasana push-up, graze the mat with your chest, pulling through to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, release the hands down by the sides. From here, inhale, bend the knees deeply, lift the chest, raise the arms up, chair pose, Utkatasana. One breath here. We're gonna go into what's called a Betak, also known as a squat, a version of a squat. There are many squats out there. So what we'll do is as we inhale, we're gonna shoot the hands back behind us like we're going to do a chair plane. And as we exhale, we're gonna sweep the hands down like we're drawing a U shape with the fingertips. So we'll exhale, squat down, just scrape the floor, Inhale, come back up to chair pose where we started. So the whole motion together looks like this. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale. Inhale, back up. And it's a very quick exhale, very forceful. So we'll go ahead and we'll do 5 of those. I almost said 10. Let's do 5 of those. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands down by the floor. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, plank pose, hold here. Inhale. We're going to repeat that push-up we did in the beginning as well. Inhale, shoot the feet forward, Malasana squat, or walk the feet forward, whatever is comfortable. I'm going to do that 4 more times. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. 3 more times on your own count. On your last one, release down to Chaturanga Dandasana from plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high, stretch all the way from the fingertips to the toes. Exhale, low lunge, Anjaneyasana, bring the right foot forward between the hands. Inhale, spin the left heel down to the mat. When you feel stable, lift up, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana. Few breaths here just to correct our alignment. Walk your feet so that they're about hip width apart. Give yourself a little bit more of a stable foundation here. Sink deeply over the right knee. Push firmly into the outer edge of your left foot. Keep working the hips so that they're both facing forward. Release the shoulders down away from the ears. Pull the core in so you're not over-flaring the lower back. Breathe deeply here. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, get nice and long through the spine. Exhale, open the hands out. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana. Keep the legs exactly as they are. Just open the hands out to the front and back of the mat. Reaching through the fingertips here. Inhale, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale, keep working that right knee towards the outer edge of the mat. Feeling activation through the inner thigh on the right-hand side. Inhale, reach forward with your right hand. Exhale, tick-tock the hands back, coming to reverse warrior. Left hand can rest on the thigh, but try to keep your left side active as well. Don't collapse onto your left hip. Right hand actively reaches up towards the ceiling. Fingertips reaching. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat to frame the right foot. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. We'll take 1 snake push-up here if you would like. If not, you can keep it in downward facing dog for snake push-up. Walk your feet as wide as the mat. On your inhale, you're going to bend the elbows. Just barely scrape the top of the mat with the chest. Inhaling, coming up to the upward facing dog. Keep those feet engaged. Heels are still lifted. Exhale, push yourself back up the way you came. Downward facing dog. From here, inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, warrior 1, spin the right heel down with the arms up overhead. 1 breath here to just correct alignment. Sink deeply over the left knee. Push down to the outer edge of the right foot. Lift up actively through your fingertips. With each inhale, get longer through the spine. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper into that left knee. 1 more inhale to sit up nice and tall. Exhale, open the hands out to the front and back of the mat. Warrior two. Tuck that tailbone in, pull the core in towards the back to really flatten yourself, imagining that you're trying to scoot in between two walls. Shoulders roll down from the ears, bend down deeply through your left knee. Reach forward with the left hand, inhale. Exhale, tuck the hands back. Right hand falls to the right thigh, left hand reaches up. Active through the fingertips. Again, just like before, try not to collapse onto your right hip. Keep actively lifting up and out of the hip joint. Inhale, stretch tall through the left side of the body. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Either take a vinyasa here or come to downward facing dog. And we can do one snake push-up together. So walk your feet wider than the mat. Inhale, bend the elbows, lower the chest down. Coming to upward facing dog. Ooh. Exhale, reverse the movement. Bend your elbows, lower the chest, lift the butt up. Coming back to downward facing dog. From here, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, we're gonna do 5 biceps. Exhale. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, sweep the hands. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, sweep the hands. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, sweep. What was that for? Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, plant the hands, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're gonna do some more Malasana squats. Plant the hands, shoot the feet back, plank pose. Inhale, exhale, squat. Again, remember, you can always walk your feet up. Do this from tabletop. You do not need to do plank to Malasana. You can do tabletop to Malasana. Walk your feet, whatever feels good. Inhale, back. Exhale, squat. 3 more, inhale, back. Exhale, squat. 2 more, inhale, back. Exhale, squat. Last one, inhale, back. Exhale, squat. Inhale, back. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna repeat that back to movement. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands. Inhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Either vinyasa or take a snake push-up. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, low lunge. Inhale, step back, plank. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Either vinyasa or take a snake push-up. If you're doing snake push-up, feet wider than the mat. Inhale, lower down. Pull through to upward facing dog. Exhale, reverse the movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, chair pose. Let's see, how much time have we got? We want to do one more? All right, we got time. Exhale, time for biceps. We'll do 5. Exhale. Inhale, chair. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, chair. Inhale. Exhale. Chair. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, chair. Exhale, plant the hands. Release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Plant the hands, step back. Inhale, plank or tabletop. Exhale, squat, Balasana, 1. Inhale back. Exhale, 2. Inhale back. Exhale, 3. Inhale back. Exhale, 4. Last one. Inhale back. Exhale, 5. Inhale back. Exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands. Inhale, step back. Exhale, downward facing dog, vinyasa or snake push-up. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, low lunge. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, vinyasa or snake push-up. One breath in downward facing dog. All right, listen for the change. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Hold here. Flip myself around. You can also drop the back knee if you would like, releasing to the top of the foot. Let's just catch our breath here for a moment. Runner's lunge, Anjaneyasana. Keep the spine stretched long, belly button pulled in. Actively still pushing into the bottom of the right foot and the top of the left foot. Feet are very active still. From here, inhale, lift the hands up, low crescent lunge. Arms can join, or hands can join above you. You can slightly gaze backwards if you like. Exhale, release the hands down to frame the right foot. Let the hips sink back. Right leg extends long. Flex the foot towards the face. Half split Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, back up to crescent. Exhale, half split. Sink the hips back. Extend the right leg, flex the foot. Bow down towards the shins. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, half split. This time, inhale, low lunge, lift the back knee up. Exhale, pivot your feet to the left side of the mat. So you're in a low squat, leaning towards the right side. And release the hips down, Skandasana, or you can stay up here for a lifted side squat. If you're gonna be up here, keep your knee bending over the right-hand side. Keep your left foot planted on the mat. Whew, sweaty. Pull the belly button into the spine. Keep the spine itself erect. You can bring your hands to your heart, or you can have them out long, whatever feels comfortable to you. Or if you want to release down to Skandasana, release the hips down towards the mat. Flex the left feet so the toes are pulling back towards the face. Same deal. Spine is straight, belly button is pulled in, gaze forward. You can keep your hands on the mat for balance if you like, or you can test your limits. Bring your hands up to the chest. Find a Drishti point, a gaze point that acts like a third point of contact with the ground. Squeeze those thighs together energetically to create a nice solid foundation. It's okay to wobble. It's okay to change your point of balance halfway through the pose, that's fine. Inhale, come through center, straightening the legs, parallel the feet, plant the hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, Halfway lift, wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Exhale, release the crown of the head down towards the mat. Feel this stretch deeply with each inhale. Maybe try extending the spine forward, getting a little bit longer, and each exhale, fold a little bit deeper if you can. Releasing the weight, releasing the tension. Inhale, lift the spine up. Exhale, squat over to the left-hand side. So you can take the same variation of squat that you took on the right, or if you want to try something different, you can experiment with that here. Same deal though, if you're lowering your hips down to the ground, right foot is flexed, toes pull back towards the face, spine is straight. If you're up, right foot comes down to the mat, spine is straight. Pick your variation and let's hold for a few breaths. Wherever you are, plant the hands back down, pass through center, inhaling when you're halfway there. Exhale, walk yourself all the way back down to a low lunge on the right-hand side. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, left foot forward. Release the right knee down to the mat if you would like. Inhale, lift up, arms overhead. Slight back bend, gaze lifts up. Crescent lunge. Exhale, release the hands, frame the left foot. Sink your hips back, straighten the left foot, flexing the toes back towards the face. Half split, Hanumanasana. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, half split. One more time. Inhale, low lunge, crescent lunge, sorry. Exhale, half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. This time, inhale, low lunge, lift the right knee up off the mat. And exhale, walk your feet over to the right side of the mat, sinking over your left heel first this time. Same deal. Maybe try something different this time around. Maybe if your body feels a bit more warm, if you feel a bit daring, you want to try something different or just experimental, maybe see what the other variation feels like if it's comfortable. Just remember that if you're down, your foot is flexed. If you're lifted up, your foot is flush with the mat. In both cases, your spine is straight, belly button pulled in. Find a drishti point, fix your gaze. Take a few breaths. On your next inhale, plant the hands, parallel the feet, walk your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, lift the spine forward. Exhale, release the crown of the head down towards the mat. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Maybe use your gaze to deepen this pose a little bit. Instead of looking down at the mat, maybe look slightly behind you, maybe just even 2 or 3 inches. Maybe you drop the crown of the head all the way down and let your gaze go back a few feet. Maybe with each inhale, you can extend the spine forward. And with each exhale, empty the belly of any air. Give yourself some room and space to look back. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, sink over the right foot. Choose your variation and take a few breaths. When you're ready, inhale, lift up through center. Exhale, low lunge over the left foot. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Release both knees down to the mat. Cross your ankles behind you. Sit back onto your sits bones. Extend the legs forward. Inhale, straight spine. Lift the arms up, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, keep reaching the fingertips forward as possible until they can't go anymore. And then release the hands down. Let them fall wherever they land. Just a few breaths here. Inhale, slowly straighten the spine. As you exhale, keep your fingertips reaching forward as you slowly lower your back down onto the mat. Opposing forces here. And then release all the way down. Bring both feet up towards the ceiling, bending the knees, grabbing the outer edges of your feet for happy baby Ananda Balasana. Just let the weight bring you down towards the mat here. Pull your feet down towards the mat to get a deep sensation in the hips. You can straighten and bend one knee at a time if you want to feel a little bit more of a sensation in the inner thighs. You can straighten both legs. If you want to feel it more in the hips, you can bend both knees in. Maybe rock side to side very gently with control. Bring your feet together. Release the hands, but keep your feet together as you lower them down to the ground in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose, or reclined bound angle pose. So from an aerial view, your feet are in a diamond shape. You can bring your feet as close to your perineum as you want, or you can release them down towards the mat or further down the mat. So it's a bit more of a longer diamond rather than a short diamond. This will all depend on how much tension you want on your hip joints. So just be cautious of that, and then release the weight of the knees to the sides of the mat and feel this opening stretch. Using your hands to gently guide your knees back up, and then straighten your legs, release them down to the mat. Bring your right knee up into the chest, give it a nice squeeze, slightly rotate it out towards the armpit, Pavanmuktasana, wind relieving pose. Squeeze it in, maybe point the toe and really push the shins into the body. Grab your knee with your left hand, pull it over to the left side of the mat. Right hand goes long for a nice reclined twist. Supta Matsyendrasana here. Gaze and right hand go to the right. Knee goes over to the left. And just release any tension you're holding on to. Inhale, slowly start rotating back to center. Bring the right knee into the chest for a squeeze and then exchange it out for the left knee. Again, kind of rotating the knee out to the side of it so it squeezes into your left armpit. And then gently using your right hand to guide the knee over to the right hand side. Gaze and your left arm go to the left. With each exhale, try to release every little micro hold or micro bit of tension you might be holding on to. Just surrender to the ground, surrender to gravity, and release into this relaxation after a lot of very hard work. And we're coming up on time here, but I really encourage you to stay as long as you need to in these more restorative poses and in Shavasana to give your body the time to restore and recover from some of the work that we just did. Go ahead and come back to center, pulling both knees into the chest. One final squeeze, and then exhale, release your feet over to down to the mat. Stay here in Shavasana in corpse pose as long as you have time for. This is the ultimate pose where we can really distance ourselves from the mind and the body and just become matter and really just meditate on that state. So as much time as you have today, please do stay in this pose. For the sake of today's class, I'm going to go ahead and roll onto my right side for a brief pause. And then roll myself up to a seat. Thank you all so much for joining me today and for humoring me with this very intense warrior flow. I hope that you enjoyed pushing yourselves, that you learned something new.